Let's take care of you. Let's make your life make sense. And then purpose becomes visible. Welcome to the Wisdom of the Body podcast. I'm your host, Heather Grzych. Here, we talk about the profound connection between mind, body, and spirit. Join me and other authors, wellness experts, and everyday individuals talk about the importance of listening to our bodies, trusting our guts, and living in deeper harmony with nature. So, whether you're seeking guidance on your wellness journey or simply looking for inspiration, you're in the right place. We're thrilled to be in the top 3% of podcasts globally. You can find the Wisdom of the Body podcast on Apple, Spotify, and most other places where people listen to podcasts. You can follow by joining my email list at heathergrzych.com or by following me on Instagram at Heather Grzych. That's Heather, Grzych. I know you're going to love this podcast, so take a second right now to subscribe. If you've been asking, what's my purpose, and feeling more anxious instead of clearer about it, I want to say this up front. You're not late, you're not broken, and you're not missing some obvious answer that everybody else has already figured out. You're probably at a point where forcing your clarity just no longer works. And that's not a failure. That's called a transition. Most of us were taught, whether it's indirectly or directly, that purpose is something that you decide. I must find my purpose. So you pick a direction, you commit, and you push through doubt. That's purpose, right? Well, that works until it doesn't. And for many people, the old strategies stop working because life has changed. Time has gone by. Maybe your body has changed. Maybe your nervous system has changed, or your values have changed, or your life circumstances around you, the environment that you're in has shifted around you. And you're still trying to answer a question about purpose using the same mental pressure that you used when you were 25 years old and trying to figure out what you're going to do with your career, or other times in your life where it felt like you had this big thing in front of you that you had to figure out. Purpose doesn't actually reveal itself under force. It reveals itself under honesty. And I know this story is everywhere. You've probably seen this movie or read the book, Eat, Pray, Love. Just stay with me because this is a story that I somehow, roll my eyes at as well, because I'm a yogi and definitely had experiences in my life where I was having eat, pray, love moments. And I never wanted to admit I was having eat, pray, love moments, but I was having them. But in this movie or the book, whichever you've read, Elizabeth Gilbert doesn't, quote unquote, find her purpose by deciding what it is. She doesn't sit down and say, this is my calling. She first notices something much simpler. She knows that her life looks right, but it feels wrong. And that, she's exhausted and she's disconnected and she's numb. So what does she do? She stabilizes first. She eats regularly. She rests. She experiences pleasure again. And she listens, maybe instead of performing. And only after that, her body settles and then clarity begins to emerge. Her purpose wasn't revealed through ambition. It was revealed through regulation. So it's really hard to figure out your life and what to do next. Even something as simple as, what should I eat today? Or where should I go tomorrow? What do I want to do on Saturday? What time should I wash my clothes? Whatever. It's hard to make good decisions when you haven't been taking care of yourself. So I think at a minimum, there's a great need when we feel lost to go hard on the self-care practices. There's a great, great need because you're just going to make better decisions later. So people miss these patterns. They miss that purpose will appear after you have better sleep. They miss that you'll have it after you better digestion or fewer obligations that drain you, more time in your own rhythm. And this is countercultural. I know people wear it as a badge of honor that they don't get, you know, that they only get 6 hours of sleep, or pushing through things. A lot of people feel proud of it. But inside they know, inside we all know that our bodies don't do well with these things, and that we make better decisions and are clearer and more regulated when we take better care of ourselves, and we get the sleep, and we eat at regular times, and we do the thing, and we get the exercise and all that. So when we're taught that, figure out your purpose, then your life's going to make sense, it kind of reverses the need for, let's take care of you, let's make your life make sense, and then purpose becomes visible when your life makes sense. Because even if your life's amazing and you're doing incredible work, if you're not taking good care of yourself, you're actually not going to see that. So first start there to make sure you got to have your own number. You got to be, you have to really look at yourself when this comes up. So there's another movie that chicks love, Under the Tuscan Sun. Those of you who are younger might not know this one. Also a book. So Frances doesn't move to Italy to find her purpose. She's, by the way, isn't Italy amazing? It sounds like a great place to find your purpose. I've tried that myself. Okay. So she doesn't move there to find her purpose. She's heartbroken. She's disoriented and burnt out. And then she buys this house on impulse, which is hardly a strategic life plan. And then nothing magical happens right away, right? She just, if you've seen the movie, she starts repairing walls on the house. The house needs a lot of work. She cooks meals. She builds relationships slowly. And so the purpose doesn't arrive like a lightning bolt. It arrives as like a life that she can actually inhabit. And this is super important. She does not become someone else. She becomes more herself. And this is something I see again and again in real people, not just movies. When people look back, they often say like, "Oh, I didn't know it at the time, but that was when everything shifted." Purpose makes sense in hindsight, not in advance. A lot of times people think, "Oh, I've got it all figured out." And then they go down this path and they're like, "Oh, that was the wrong path." So you conclude that like this is the right thing. And one of my teachers, Dr. Vasant Lad, used to tell us in class, he would say, "The root cause of confusion is conclusion." So purpose is kind of similar in that you can make sense of it in hindsight, but not in advance, because it's not a job title. It's a pattern of vitality. So maybe this matters to you, because if you're in a phase where nothing feels quite right anymore, or the old goals feel hollow, or you're tired of having to explain yourself to everybody, that doesn't mean you're lost. It means that your body is asking for a more honest life before it offers direction. Purpose is not going to ask you to override yourself. It asks you to listen. So instead of asking, "What should I do with my life?" try asking some of these questions instead for the next 2 weeks. What feels nourishing? What feels draining? Where do I feel more like myself? And where am I performing? You're not choosing your purpose. You're clearing the signal. can journal on this too. It's great. Even just waking up in the morning and sitting there asking, what feels nourishing? What feels draining? Where do I feel more like myself? And where am I performing? Because purpose is not something you force yourself into. It's something that emerges when your life becomes livable again. When you stop asking, who should I be? And start noticing, who am I when I'm well? Because that's when truth shows up. Thank you for tuning in and dropping in with us today. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. I really want to hear your feedback. Visit heathergrzych.com. That's Heather, GRZYCH.com. And meet me here next time on The Wisdom of the Body.